Hello everyone, it's Refresh and I'm here to take a look at Mayday Games' Magnum card sleeves for cards sized 80mm by 120mm, which are most commonly Dixit cards in the board game market, but there are other games like Planet Steam that also use cards of this size. These sleeves are clear and their MSRP is $3.50 per pack of 100. Which gets you an average cost of somewhere below 4 cents per sleeve, which is a decent value price for sleeves of this size. They are soft sleeves, so that means that you're going to get a lot more sleeves per pack, but each sleeve is going to be relatively thin and soft. Let's take a look at what's inside. As you can see, the sleeves are smooth and glossy on both sides. Now let's make sure that there are 100 here. That is 102 sleeves, so everything's accounted for, and you even have a couple bonus sleeves as well. Now let's check the thickness. 100 sleeves is about 9mm thick, which means that they are 90 microns per sleeve or 45 microns each face. Now let's check the dimensions. The sleeves are 82mm wide by 122mm tall. Let's see how a card fits inside. I have a Dixit card here. Looks like a pretty snug fit. There's just a tiny bit of play on the edges, and there's not that much space between the opening of the sleeve and the top edge of the card. As you can see, it's pretty open from the top, and you can see the top edge clearly. Straight out of the pack, some of these sleeves exhibit a little bit of denting, and some of them exhibit a little bit of warping, particularly around the edge. And then a lot of the sleeves are a little bit curved, but these are soft sleeves, so I don't know what else to expect here. Now we'll do the sleeving test. We'll put these 45 Dixit cards into these sleeves and see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Okay, it took 2 minutes and 44 seconds. I'm going to give it a little bit of time off because I was confused by one of the cards being slightly miscut and I thought there were 2 cards under there. So 2 minutes and 44 seconds to sleeve these 45 cards, which is a slower speed of 3.64 seconds per card sleeved. It's not terribly slow, but it is a bit on the slower side. Now that the cards are sleeved up, let's check for their uniformity and consistency. Once we line the sleeves up, we can see that the sleeves are all equally cut in terms of their height, and their width is actually pretty even. There are some outliers that you can feel as you touch the sides of the sleeves, but for the most part it feels pretty even. The tops are fairly open, but that's almost as much in part due to the curve of the sleeves as the shortness of the distance between the opening of the sleeve and the top edge of the card. I don't think you can really avoid that if you have slightly curved sleeves, and with the minimal amount of distance between the opening of the sleeve and the top edge of the card, that's pretty much guaranteed to be happening for any card of this size. As mentioned before, some of the sleeves do feature a few dents here and there is a little bit of warping on some of the sleeves, but for the most part they look like they're in pretty good shape as far as soft sleeves go. Next to the shuffle test, I'm going to shuffle the sleeve deck of Dixit cards 100 times and see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Okay, it took 3 minutes and 10 seconds to shuffle these cards 100 times, and that's a perfectly acceptable speed of 1.9 seconds per shuffle. Like many cards of this size, my forearms were straining a bit at the shuffling. It is important to use a open palmed waterfall type shuffle to let the cards slip in themselves. Otherwise, you're really going to have a problem like pushing the sleeves into each other, because there is actually quite a bit of resistance if your hands are a little bit tighter when you put the cards into each other, and you're going to feel a lot of strain if you're shuffling with a mass shuffle this way. But overall, I didn't really find there to be any difficulties in shuffling, and it does help that there isn't a lot of room between the opening of the sleeve and the tops of the card, because it means that the sleeves are less spongy as you shuffle them, and that means that the tighter fit really does help the shuffling process feel a lot more smooth as a result. It's still not the best shuffle feel in terms of pushing the cards together, but it is not a terrible shuffle feel either, and I think it actually works out pretty well in terms of handling. Now that we've handled these cards a bit, let's take a look to see how they held up. Overall, I didn't really see a great amount of wear. I do notice that some of the sleeves still have their scuffing and denting. The corners actually held up pretty well, and I think that's in part due to the snugness of the fit of the sleeves. And I did notice that a lot of the sleeves have some very mild wear in terms of the gloss on the sleeve coming off a bit. And so I do notice that these sleeves are probably going to take wear a little bit faster in terms of their surfaces becoming less glossy and dirty. But I think that's the only main weakness in terms of these sleeves. As far as soft sleeves go, obviously they're much thinner, so they're easier to break, easier to fold, crease, bend, and warp. But I think overall, the health of the sleeves as far as soft sleeves go is pretty good. Now we're going to do a shake test. I've stacked these sleeve cards into a deck, and we're going to shake the table down for about 2 seconds and see if the deck holds up. Ready, set, go. Okay, the deck only slid a little bit and it looks like it's in pretty good shape, so I think that is a pass. Now I'm going to do the draw test. I'm going to draw 3 cards off the top and see how well it holds up. Ready, set, go. It held up just fine. And again, I think this is in part just due to the size of the cards, creating a lot of heft and a lot of friction against each other. So there's not going to be a whole lot of ability for the deck to fall on its own, unlike smaller cards. And so I feel like it almost doesn't matter what sleeves that you use, they're all going to be able to hold up pretty well. As you can see here, one of the sleeves did take some major corner bending here, and I do think that that's going to happen pretty frequently over time, and as that happens, it's going to cause problems as you shuffle them in like this, because it's going to cause the corners to bend even more as you do so. So again, that's a problem with soft sleeves in general, so it's not particular to Mayday, but the corners bending is something that you're going to have to watch out for, so make sure to shuffle carefully and not too rapidly. In the end, I thought that these are pretty decent budget options as far as sleeving your Dixit size cards goes. They are pretty uniform, and you don't have any problems with the cards not fitting into the sleeves. I do think that they are soft sleeves, so you have all the caveats that are common to soft sleeves in terms of corner bending and long-term durability, and also there's a bit of fade on the surface of this gloss, and so I do think that these sleeves are going to get a little bit dirtier, a little bit faster, but that's gonna not be a problem for some of you because you just need to protect the card underneath. And it's a pretty good deal in terms of getting a whole bunch of sleeves for a relatively inexpensive price. And so I think that these are not bad options for those of you who want to sleeve your Dixit size cards in bulk at a reasonable cost. If this video was helpful to you, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more such videos, hit subscribe. I have surveys in the description box below. You can click on them if you have any experience with these sleeves or any other sleeves of this size, and you can share them, the results being posted at the Init Games' resource page. This was Refresh. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.